Good morning, everyone. First thing I'll perhaps comment about is all these birds and flowers and things behind me. We've moved again. Very comfortable here. But I just thought I'd do these videos with a curtain behind me. So hopefully we'll have a change of scenery just now, not know the house. Thank you. Today we've got John's Gospel. Now, interesting that there's a guy by the name of Nicodemus who is only ever mentioned in John's Gospel, not the other Gospels. So interesting, who was this Nicodemus guy? Well, he was a Pharisee. And as we know, the Pharisees were amongst the Jewish leaders, and to a greater extent were the enemies of Jesus. He didn't choose them, they chose him. But Nicodemus was a guy who had a kind of fascination about what Jesus was talking about. He didn't necessarily buy into it, but he just kept on asking questions and invited Jesus around for a meal and so forth. So this is who Nicodemus was. And today, Jesus is talking to Nicodemus, and he says, if you do not believe me when I speak about things of this world, obviously, Nicodemus asking all the questions, says, how are you going to believe me when I speak about heavenly things? And it occurred to me that perhaps a lot of people these days would think the same way. There are a lot of things about our religion in this world that we have difficulty with. So how are we going to really grasp everything that Jesus says about heaven? You talk about, people say, I wonder what heaven's going to be like. So, well, I really hope that I have an opportunity to find out, not the other one. But we do ask these questions, but because we don't find the answers immediately, sometimes we will go back to worldly problems to try to resolve that. Now, obviously, there are people in the church who attempt to give us a better understanding of what it's all about. And, ultimately that there's peace and joy. And people who talk about near-death experiences will talk about a lot of peace. And there's certainly no anxiety there. So death is not something that we should fear. Death is a journey. It's a stage through a journey that we come to God in eternity. And so Jesus, in offering his reply to Nicodemus, perhaps could be answering any of us. How are we possibly going to understand what he's going to tell us about as far as heaven is concerned if we are really, really battling with things of these days? The challenge is to continue asking the questions and to ask them of the right people. I think that's the unfortunate thing, is many people go asking the wrong people for answers about things about which they know very little, but they have a great opinion. So let's be wise about who we ask questions of. You keep well. We'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.